All right, brother. You said that you had also Masonic, right? Masonic,
Well, my career in law enforcement, I actually joined the Brotherhood of Freemasons.
Okay. Yeah, how'd you get into that?
Man, you know, a lot of cops are involved with that.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It is. It's a thing that I'm not saying you must do, but 95% of them do. You know what I mean?
Now, what's the benefit out of it? Like, what's the main purpose?
Actually,
95.
For me, if you're going to ask me the question, I think it was more like biblical history.
Oh, well, okay.
What intrigued me the most was they talked about King Solomon's temple and the Holy of Holies, and I've always been intrigued by it.
So this actually exists?
Yes, it does. It's the occult. It's nothing to be messing with.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you straight up.
All right.
And there's 3 phases. The first phase is enter apprentice.
Okay.
Even before you get to that phase, you got to be pretty much spoke about.
Okay.
You know, to be one, you have to ask one. So one of my supervisors, he was a lieutenant, pretty much came up to me and asked me, "Hey, you want to join a club?" And I'm like, "What kind of club is it?" You know what I mean? Right. Well, it's a Freemasons. I did my background, on them and did my research, and I've seen a lot of positive things that came out of doing the research. You know, a lot of them donate money to cancer victims and children with cancer, and Shriners, they have their own hospital and so forth. I was in a position where I'm working with juvenile offenders. Well, why not? Why not do something in the outside? You know what I mean? So my lieutenant spoke for me and 2 other of my fellow brothers in blue, and they petitioned. We petitioned for a spot in the Brotherhood and filled out applications, and they did a background. They do a background on you, see if you're good standing, or else they won't take you.
Wow.
What they do is they take men to make them better. That's what they say. But only God could do that.
Right.
No club could do that for you.
That's right.
So right around 2006, I'm on my 4th year. I'm a 4th or 5th year on the job. I petitioned. It all went pretty good, and they do a house interview.
Okay.
So I had, like 20, 30 people come to my house, and they spoke to my wife because they speak to the females first.
Wow.
I didn't know why, but they usually do that because you're not going to be around as much when you go into meetings, or you got to do take time off to do work as far as donating, getting money for donations and and so forth. So I didn't see that quite a bit, as far as going out there, doing any that type of work first, because you have to go through rituals first. The first phase is the enter apprentice phase. That's phase 1, and you do your rituals. They take you in and they tie a toe to your ankle. Made of
tie a toe.
A toe, yeah, ankle toe. They call it the ankle toe, and it's made out of what do you call it? It's like a harness. It's like a tie. They tie it around your leg, and they raise your pants leg up, and you're there in a suit, and then you go around. You're blindfolded, so you can't really see the actual temple. It's a temple. You got Joaquin and Boaz on one side. The 2 towers, which is the 2 pillars. Or the Freemasons.
This is like big time.
Oh, it's a ritual.
This is like sacred stuff. Like
yeah. But see, the way they cookie cut it is that they only get the ones that are like I would say the ones that are really interested and the ones that are clean cut.
Right.
All right. And I'm going to add the devil to this too.
Okay.
Because when you're in the world, you're of the devil. Your father, the devil, right?
Right.
When you don't have God on your mind at all times, from when you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night, you're of your father, the devil. And I'm just going to say it like that, but I'm going to be bold and honest, Right. I was in the right state of mind then. I had some marital problems, so I felt like this was an outlet for me to get out and have fellowship with other brothers.
Right, because you wasn't getting that with the churches.
I wasn't getting that with the churches back home because, they were preaching prosperity.
Right. Okay.
Give me $1, God gives you 1,000. And God doesn't work that way, man. You got to work for, you got to work to eat. So, don't wait for a handout.
So how long did the first phase last?
What they do is they bring you into the temple, and they have the secretary which is a male. We're all males. There's no female Masons here. I know in Europe, I think they do, not here. Unless you're an Eastern Star, that's different.
Okay.
But the Freemasons, you got the Blue Lodge, which is composed of all different nationalities and backgrounds of Masons,
right,
to include different religious sets, Hindu, Muslim, whatever. You could be atheist; they don't care. You could be Satan. You could be a devil worshiper, and they'll bring a devil worshiping Bible right there, Satanic Bible, so you could you take the oath. Yeah, they don't care. See, I didn't know that until I started doing more homework on it. What did I get myself into? But
did you ever get that far?
Oh yeah, I became a Master Mason.
Okay.
I mean, the highest you can go is 33rd, but
okay,
even at 32nd, see, from the ranks of 30th to 33, which is 3, that's when they divulge the actual truth to you.
I got you.
You know, which they have you in darkness all those years, and then once you start climbing up the rituals and the phases, and you go up the ranks or degrees,
right,
we call it. You could go from the 3rd degree to the 32nd degree in a weekend.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you could do it in 2 days. They call that the fast track. But usually to get that high, it takes years. Wow. It takes years, but you could do it the other way. You got to pay some money or talk to whoever.
I heard that some people, if I might be mistaken, but I know some of these rich people, these Hollywood people, they give land, millions of dollars.
Oh yeah. It all depends, because those are called dues, right?
Okay.
And you talking about occultic, satanic individuals that work in Hollywood, reverence, of money, of people of power. I didn't know all that. Because when you got scales in your eyes, you can only see so much.
Right.
But when God removes those blinds off your eyes, you start seeing who's who for what they are.
Wow.
And not every Masonic lodge. I mean, they all talk about the same, but everybody's different. Because in order for you to be a Shriner, you got to be a Mason. For you to be a Knights Templar, you got to be a Mason. And the more you go up in that pyramid, and the highest you could go is a Rothschild.
Right.
They're the highest of the highest.
Really?
Yeah, they're the satanic children of Satan.
Wow.
They actually sit on the table, and they have a special chair for Satan right there. And he comes and talks to these family members, and they're the ones the shaking and bakers, I call it.
Now, this all has to do also with those people who go out into the wood and they burn that wooden owl and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. You talking about the Illuminati.
Illuminati, okay. So
right.
This has to do with them?
Oh, yeah. You have to be a Freemason to be there. All the presidents were Freemasons.
Okay.
A small portion weren't. But they were Jesuits. This is the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, even the Pope. They don't. And I'm going to be honest. They don't actually have to do the whole ritual. They have to watch.
Right.
And because of their power and rank within the church.
But it's still controlled by them.
Oh, yeah. Everything is controlled by the white and black Pope. Yeah. So black and white, which is white and black tiles, is where we have our temple.
That's where you get that.
Yeah, the yin yang. The
right.
good versus evil. You got to have one of the balance. And that's the work of the devil. God doesn't work that way. He doesn't manifest that way. That's all the trick of the devil. The devil knows the Bible better than me and you put together.
Right.
Because he was there when God was putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he fell. Of course, but he knows.
Yeah.
He could twist the word of God and make it so clean like honey in your mouth. And say, well, this guy is a man of God. But no, you got to go beyond that, honey.
Right.
You got to go around it and do your research. Because they're going to give themselves up. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys and women, men and women that work in Hollywood, they're all Satanists.
I bet.
All of them are Satanists. And you know what? Anybody could tell me different. I really don't care, because I know. Certain hand signs that you do, the pyramid, the rock, Jay-Z calls this the rock, is a pyramid.
Right.
All right? But in that pyramid, there's 13.
Right. You also got the... What was this?
Well, that's the horns of the devil.
Right.
The devil's horns, yeah. And, that's Illuminati. You could use it for the Shriners use it too.
Right.
That's the Moloch.
Okay.
Moloch is the actual owl that they worship out in California. All these big shots, big corporations, they go there. And that's where they make the presidents too.
Really?
They make presidents there. They know which president they're going to make. They make them. All this political stuff,
right.
That's just BS. That's bullshit.
Why?
That is bullshit. That is the most deceiving thing in America. They know which the Rothschilds makes the presidents. They're trillionaires. They own the world. They own like 90% of the world.
Yeah, and plus, if you have all these superstars and all these
You
actors,
control their puppets.
Well, and not only that, they got the money to buy land.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually, there's going to be one government,
Yes.
or one secret government, should I say, the Illuminati or the Masons,
Right.
who will control all this land.
But see, the Masons are the foot soldiers of the Illuminati. You understand the pyramid, right?
Yes, yes.
It's shaped like a triangle, right? So we're at the very bottom.
At the very bottom.
And then above that, you got different families. You know, different. Above that, you got York Rite, Scottish Rites, which are also sets of different branches of Freemasons. And then you go into Knights Templar, and you got so Shriners.
I guess that's where you get the all-seeing eye from.
The all-seeing eye is Lucifer.
Right.
Underneath them is the Rothschilds. Underneath them is the Council of 13. Or the Council of 33. Or 13. No, 13. Underneath them, you got the Council of 33. Underneath them, you got big, different corporations like the CFR.
Wow.
Council of Foreign Relations. And underneath them, you got, like 6 big companies that own all the, they own all the real estate, and they own all, like, media outfits, I said media, they own all different types of...
Yeah, like those people who are like Warren Buffett, who owns...
Well, yeah, he's a 33rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they own, property, they own land, they own...
Stocks, everything.
Everything. So you got 6 corporations in the world that owns 90% of the assets and the money of the world, right? So even the Federal Reserve is not of the United States. It's a separate entity that's ran by the Rothschilds. See, the Rothschilds, they run all that from their house. Wow. And they live out in England. They don't leave that house.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
They don't leave the house.
Why is that? I mean, is there
because that's where the devil dwells.
Gotcha.
The devil could only be in one place. God is everywhere.
Yeah.
You understand?
True. Yeah, because God is he's
everlasting.
He's omnipresent.
Yeah, he's everywhere. You can't put God in there, sir.
Yeah,
he's too big.
And you can't have the devil
No.
everywhere.
No.
He's limited to his power.
One spot.
Amen.
Well, he'll use his foot soldiers to do other things.
Exactly.
They're all demons. They're all demon possessed. They're vessels. They're fleshly vessels that are compartmentalized. They're like shattered. They shatter their brains, and it's just like MK Ultra, right? They use MK Ultra to break the minds of people, and then they mold them the way that they want them to go.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Or satanic ritual abuse. That all comes together with the Freemasons.
So their ultimate goal is pretty much to have one world order,
one world religion,
and one world
currency. Yep.
To eventually rule the world.
Rule the world, right?
Which is to usher in also the
Antichrist.
The Antichrist, Mark of the Beast, and so on.
Mark of the Beast, right.
So you've seen all this firsthand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, firsthand. I mean, I've seen the rituals. I see where they imitate them trying to kill you.
Wow.
When you get in your masters, they put you, like, they simulate that they're stabbing you, and they killing you like Tubal Cain,
So in other words, like, you almost have to, kind of like the way we have to be reborn.
Yes, they're making a mockery out of baptism.
Right, and it's actually reversed. And you know what? The devil works like that because. Yeah. So if we have to be reborn, they pretty much say you have to
die first.
You have to kill yourself for the devil. Yeah. Wow.
So just like like the satanic baptism, they baptize them in blood in a cast iron bathtub.
Right.
If you see the videos that you see, like this girl named Rihanna is one of them, that she's done blood sacrifices, and she's done a blood baptism, but they won't show blood in the bathtub. They show water, but it's symbolic. Their water is symbolic to blood.
Right.
And they have to get in that bathtub. Even Eminem, you see him on one of those magazines. He's just leaning back, bare chested, with blood up to his stomach.
Wow.
In a cast iron, bathtub, and that's how they do their rituals. Everything is backwards.
Who's the other guy? I know there's a lot of them.
A lot of them. Yeah.
Was it Lil Wayne?